Hi, I'm Deborah Stengel, founder of Sedona Soul Adventures and international best-selling author of The Journey to Happy, coming to you again from incredibly beautiful Sedona, Arizona, and I'm so glad you're here with me again. In this series of videos, I'm talking to you about concepts from my book, The Journey to Happy, how embracing the concept that nothing is wrong can transform your life. And in this video, I'm talking about how to get what you want from your relationship. If you've been following me for a while, you probably already know that I was a divorce attorney for 20 years in Omaha, Nebraska, and that now I've been helping couples through Sedona Soul Adventures for over 17 years. Our track record for helping people with their relationships is absolutely stunning, and that's because we're able to dig deep into the roots of what's going on and really transform it. A big piece of this is finding out what each of you need in your relationship, and are you willing to give it to the other person? We had a couple here last year, and what happened with them was really stunning. The husband had had an affair, and the wife was totally upset and angry, which is of course completely understandable. And then she found out that it had been even worse. What he originally told her wasn't true, and that there had been even more infidelities than she knew about. So this made her even more angry, more untrusting of him. We found out that he had grown up in a family where his father was a big womanizer and had left his mother when he was very young. He and his mother then went to live with relatives, and he was brought up in a family, literally a home of man-hating women. They all talked all the time about how horrible men are. You can't trust them. They're all womanizers. They all cheat on you. And so he grew up being very afraid that this is what he was going to turn into. But the amazing thing was he didn't. He'd been married for 20 years and had never even had an urge about having an affair. When he came to us, he kept saying over and over again, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I jeopardized my life like this. Then we discovered that Linda grew up in a household where her father had been constantly criticized by her mother. I mean, just constantly. And so she grew up with the teaching of this is how you get your husband to do what you want him to do. You constantly criticize him. So criticism was a huge piece of what she grew up with. So one of the reasons why our retreats are so incredibly effective is because of the particular and specific processes that we use. In this situation, we discovered that Mike, I'll call him Mike, not his real name, that he has the needs of words of praise and gifts. And at this point, this might sound to some of you like the love languages work that is out there, which I actually like very much. But what we do is very, very different and very specific for each person. With Linda, I'll call her Linda, we discovered that her needs are listening, conversation, and protection, which also made sense because Linda's mother was always criticizing Linda, and her father never stood up for her for that. So Linda grew up believing, I have no one to protect me. So Linda needs a man who will talk to her and protect her. And now we have Mike, her husband, who we find out is not talking to her at all. And then we have the ultimate betrayal of the affair, where she feels not only not protected, but completely betrayed. And then we have Mike, who doesn't want to talk to her because when he talks to her, what he receives is criticism. She thought she was helping him, but of course, that's not what it felt like to him. And to Linda's credit, during the retreat, she really got it, that she was criticizing him. But then here's the real kicker. The other thing we found out that is a deep need that Mike has is gifts. And when we started talking about that with him, he started tearing up and almost crying and telling us that he never got gifts when he was growing up, not even for his birthday. And Linda didn't give him gifts because he never acted excited about gifts. They usually would give joint gifts to each other for Christmas. Nothing ever special for him. But guess who was giving him gifts? The woman that he was having the affair with. Guess what else that woman was doing? She was giving him words of praise. So when we figured this out, that here's a man who needs words of praise and he needs gifts. He has a wife who is never giving him gifts and constantly criticizing him. So it wasn't about sex, it was about him feeling valued. And when Mike and Linda realized that they were in this vicious cycle of he needs words of praise and all he's getting is criticism, and she needs conversation and he doesn't want to talk to her because all she does is criticize him, and this all has much more to do with their childhood than it has to do with anything going on with the two of them presently. And it just keeps going and going and building until somebody finally says, stop. Okay, wait a minute. He needs words of praise and gifts. Are you willing to give that to him? And she immediately said yes. And we said to him, she needs to have you talk to her and protect her. Are you willing to do that? And it was a little harder for him to say, I'm willing to really sit and talk to her, because he had 20 years of background of criticism with her. But the deeper we got, and especially when Linda saw the reaction of him tearing up about the gifts, that just completely melted her heart. He felt it. He felt the criticism moving away from her. He felt the anger and the resentment and all of the stuff, which of course was completely logical and understandable for her to be feeling. But when they could both look at this through this perspective, I mean, it just opened up all of this love. They both got it. You have to give the other person what they need, not what you think they need, but what they really need in order to feel loved. You have to have a desire to nurture them. And if you're not willing to nurture them, then you don't have a relationship, or you have a relationship that's not going to last for very long. And don't get me wrong, I am not in any way condoning having an affair. I've done a bunch of videos and newsletters about not having affairs and the incredible damage that they do. When Linda understood all this, she got it, and she was able to forgive him and really come back into love again. So, how about you? Do you know what you need in a relationship? I've been surprised to discover that most people don't even know. Do you know really what your partner wants? Do you care? That's actually the most important one, because if you're not willing to give your partner what they want, then you got a problem. And then the other thing is, have you thought about how your parents were in their relationship? Because that can be really telling. Were they happy? Were they loving with each other? Did they talk? Did they fight? What did they teach you, even though they probably didn't realize that they were teaching you? And then about you, how was your childhood? Did you feel loved? Did you feel valued? Were you criticized? Did you grow up believing there's something wrong with you? It's so sad, but I see it over and over again that for so many of us, this is how we grew up, believing that we're not enough, that we don't deserve love. And then we bring all of that into our relationship, and it comes out in crazy ways, like having affairs or mistreating the person that you're supposed to be in love with. What do you really want? What do you crave? What do you need? Come to Sedona and we'll help you discover the blocks that are keeping you back from having the relationship that you really want. What you need is probably different than what your partner needs. The blocks that have happened for you are probably different than the blocks that have happened for your partner. We'll help you dig deep and bring you back into the love that is your deepest desire. Go to SedonaRetreatGuide.com and get your complimentary copy of the Sedona Guide to Couples Retreats today. Or even better, if you'd like to talk to someone about doing a retreat that's custom designed for exactly what the two of you need and want, call us at 928-204-5988. And if you got value from this video, please take the time to like it, share it with someone in your life who you think might get something out of it, and subscribe to our channel. You can have the life and relationship you want. I know it.